And we just wanted to give you all a gift to show our love. And we talked about it, the board talked about it quite a bit, and finally decided we would, rather than give you something, we would give something to SONshine Ministries in your honor. And so, these folks have collected a little over $4,000 to give to SONshine Ministry for the Keith and Linda Axvig Scholarship Fund to help those students get their college education.
It was such a great blessing to see some of these kids graduate from college and go into their profession. And it was a great honor able to bring to them the money they needed for tuition for the children in school. Words just escape me because we're so grateful to all of you for the support, not only in all the food you brought over the years, all the Christmas gifts you brought, all the personal touch and all the prayer, and we just can't thank you enough. And this has been a wonderful journey for us. It's been exciting, and you can't imagine the joy that God gave us as we went through these 20 years of working. And it's not easy to give it up. I have to remind you all the time, no, but it isn't easy to give it up because we love the people, and we will continue now and then to go and visit because we got a lot of friends down there. And it's been a privilege and great to be able to watch these little kids that we first started out with grow up, and then of course into college. And what a wonderful blessing that is. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank you all too, because like the video said, that education for the children is one of the only ways they're going to get out of poverty. And we take a lot of pride in all the kids that we've helped in school, and it costs a lot of money. And this will go a long ways for paying for the tuitions for the next year that's coming up. Just if I could just have a few minutes of your time. Linda and I are both in our 80s, and we're not sick, so that's not the reason. But the reason is that we're getting slower in the responsibility of SONshine Ministries. Not only mentally, but physically are getting harder and harder. And it is a 24/7 job. About 2 years ago, Linda and I, we started to pray about God putting somebody, preferably a couple, in our path to take over SONshine Ministry. We definitely didn't want SONshine Ministry to end. And about a year ago, Linda and I, we made a special trip back to Minnesota, and we got involved with some immigrants from Venezuela, and you could make a movie about how they came to the United States, through the jungles down there in Panama, and it's just unbelievable. And anyway, so the two Venezuelans, a young couple, and a Mexican pastor and her daughter, we all headed for Minnesota, and they were really excited to see the snow. But we were in a pretty warm car, and we got back to our home in Minnesota. It was 20 below zero. So if you can imagine that coming from Venezuela to 20 below zero, it was quite a shock. But anyway, when we got back, in about 10 days or so in church here, Pastor Larry asked us how our trip was going, and I said something to the effect that it went fine, but it really tired us out. And he told us, he said he knows another pastor and his wife that we might want to talk to. So we made arrangements within a few days and invited him over for supper, Pastor Larry and his wife and Branden and Sheila. And we had supper together. Linda made supper and we talked for about 4 or 5 hours. And they indicated an interest about finding out more. So they went down to us, with us in Progreso and Valley Hermosa and La Cerrita and Matamoros, and they met the pastors that we work with, and they met a lot of the families. We have 36 families that we help every month, a little bit financially. I remember when I was young, it seemed like I always was 1 week short of paying all my bills. If there would be another week in the month, it would take a lot of pressure off raising a family. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do is take the pressure. $50, for example, is a week's wages. And so we're trying to take the pressure off some of them. So anyway, we told Pastor Branden and Sheila that maybe within 30 days we'd like a yes or a no. So both of us, couples, could go on. And after they'd been to these towns and met about 12 pastors that we were working with and many families, they said yes. And so they have worked with us for the last 10 months of 2023. And we're real pleased the way they've been accepted. Our plan in the future is to continue to go into Mexico and visit our friends. They've become like family, many of them, and someone said, go to where God is working and join him. And this is our plan for SONshine Ministry that we started 20 years ago. Maybe that's still our plan, we just don't know. SONshine RV Park here and its members have been a big part of SONshine Ministry for about 15 years. And members here have built, well, I can, just off the top of my head, I can say we've gotten 2 or 3 houses that have been built by members of the congregation here. Somebody gave us a car that was like new that went to a pastor. You see the food down here. We received thousands of dollars worth of food that we've distributed. And first and foremost, you folks have lifted Linda and I up in your prayers, and we really appreciate that. And we'd just like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, not only for your prayers and support for all these years, but this year that's going to make a difference in the lives of so many young kids. And we all know that's where our future is in our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And it's the same way down there. They just need some school. And so many kids are running on the streets and they're 10 years old and they don't go to school. Their parents can't afford to send them, or the parents don't care. And it's really sad. We just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Dios bendiga. God bless you.